Hello, happy Halloween. Okay, I'm just gonna shut down over here because I was cruising the internets. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, I'm gonna get over to comments so I can quickly see everyone. Hello, good morning, Katie. Hello, Rose. Good morning. Love the music. And I'm gonna like prop this up. Where is my little? Sorry. Obviously, I was not super prepared, but I feel like I'm cutting my own head off. So I'm just gonna lift my computer up a smidge so that, there we go. Yay! I actually had an intro. So, Katie, it took me a little bit to figure out how to do that, but now I know how to do intros for my videos. So I'm super pumped. But that was like my first one I did way back when, and it had I got a fuzzy. It had like music and sparklies and all the fun stuff. So welcome everybody. Come on in. It says, let's see. Ooh, Julia. Hey, how are you, girlfriend? What is it? Like 5:30 p.m. your time, right? Let's see. Katie, yeah, so impressed. Good. I was impressed with myself too. Hey, Liz, welcome. Come on in, everybody. We're going to have some fun today. Happy Halloween. Happy Samhain. Good morning, Veronica. Hello, hello, hello. And I even have, and I showed this off in my second only reel, or if it's on YouTube, I think it's called a short, reel, short, whatever the little mini videos are. I don't do TikTok because I already am overwhelmed. Um, this is a mason jar cup holder that my friend Jenna Moyer. This is a mason jar because this way I know how much water I drink. Because whenever you're doing readings or working with spirit, doing your spells, doing your rituals, all of those things, you gotta hydrate, my darlings, because energy moves best through hydration, through water. Like, think about it from electrical standards. Anyway, so Jenna Moyer made this great little koozie for my mason jar. It's got like spell books and candles and little potion bottles on it, but I'm going to use this year round because. So, anyways, if you ever want one for you, she's got this great little website called the thunderbirdfarm.com, I think. Anyway, you can find her um, on the Facebooks. Jenna Moyer, Gena is her first name, and Moyer. Anyways, she does lovely bespoke things like that. So, anyways, first off, okay, if you want to go ahead and start putting your questions in. But what I do want to do before we get started with everybody, but because I want to give you guys some time to like just type a question. Don't ask me what is the meaning of life because I'm not going to answer that because it takes too long. But we're going to do it this way. So as people pop in, if you want to ask a question, I will pull you a card and then share the intuitive hits off of that. And we'll do one per person and as many as I can get in throughout the hour until 12:30 my time. So Julia, you did make it 4:30 clocks change. Oh, that's right. You guys in the UK, you changed, I think, the week or two before we do. I wish we could all just not do that because it's such a pain in the ass trying to figure out what time anything is. But anyways, welcome everybody from all over the place. Let me look through here. I think what's it? We got folks from New York, from Montana, I think, the UK, New Jersey, so tri-state area, Maine. Let's see, there we go. Ooh, hey, Elizabeth. Hey, girly. Yeah, you're here. So go ahead and ask your question. Nashville. Elizabeth's in Nashville with me, or she's actually north of the city, but yeah. Oh man, Liz, right? Next year we won't have to change them. That would be delightful. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because happy Halloween, Samhain, and Mars retrograde in Gemini, we got lots of energy, so it's weird. And Liz, that's probably why you're feeling stuck. So just really quickly to kind of address some stuff. So Mars retrograde, since Mars is about action, and sometimes a little bit of popping off in a little, not response, but reactionary stuff. And it's in Gemini. So it's an interesting kind of weather pattern. So we have right now, since it has gone direct, it'll be still kind of stopped where it's like turning around, and you're gonna feel stuck. You're gonna feel stuck and not moving forward. So if Mars is the planet of action and we're retrograde, it's very much like you might get some clarity because we're in Gemini, which Gemini is usually like, oh, bopping around. So focus might be on whatever, like if you look at your chart, if you go to astro.com, you can get a free birth chart. Go there and then look on the chart and see where your Gemini falls. So like mine is in my 5th house. So normally I'm very like, because I'm also Cap rising. So it's like, do the work, get the things, do the things. But and like, I want to play, but I don't. So like Gemini's in that house where it's like play, work. And I'm not really, good at focusing on one or the other. So, or I get distracted easily. Shocker. Anyway, so for me, it's the focus will be on that, on me, whatever the energy of the 5th house is, which is like more focused on play for me. So if you can look at what house is your Gemini in, what does that house mean? Like Google Gemini in whatever house it is. So like 8th house, 1st house, whatever. And then just read the little blurb and look at it from the perspective of, oh, I'm going to focus on that right now. And remember, retrogrades are not about action, which is really hard because Mars is all about action. So it's like doubly slow down. Slow down, because if you move too fast, you're gonna knock into things. You might fall down. These kinds of things may happen. You also might pop off. Your temper may flare because we're frustrated, because we're upset. So just kind of the way that I put this in my newsletter this past week that's going to go out tomorrow. So if you're not on my newsletter list, make sure you get on there. If you're not on there or you're not receiving it, let me know. I will put you on. But tomorrow I'll be doing our weekly reading. The weekly reading energy report is replaced by this today, but I'll do it tomorrow so that you can catch up, and also be sending out that newsletter with an expanded Mars retrograde in Gemini share. And just my advice for everyone is to be okay with the slowdown. Understand that when you are banging your head against the wall, I saw a great meme today, and it says, sometimes, you keep saying, I keep hitting a wall, the frustration, right? Well, actually, sometimes a wall is just there so you have something to lean on when you're really tired, so you can have a break. So if we can think of it as that way, instead of thinking I'm hitting the wall, that's better. So what I wanted to do, because the other part of this is today, y'all, I didn't even know this. I only read this yesterday, and I thought, so good. And I have something in my eye. So I'm sorry if playing with my eyeball is weird for you. Sorry. Anyway, I read this thing, and I did not know this. Probably other folks knew this, but good morning, Amy. Mary Jo, you have been on my heart for like 2 weeks, and I have just not reached out for you. I am so sorry, but know that you've been right here on my third eye for a while, and right here. Anyway, today is the midpoint between the autumnal equinox and the winter solstice. So it is kind of one of those days also. So this is what I mean. There's like a lot of shit going on. This is also one of those days like where we can sit down and kind of say, okay, not only is the veil its thinnest so that I can commune with spirit in a much more easy way. I keep hearing it in French, facile way. Where most of the time, like, I meditate every day. This is my job. This is what I do. I do intuitive coaching, intuitive reading, all that kind of stuff to support the spiritual journey of my peeps, you guys. But some people don't do that. Other people are accountants and they don't, like, that's not their jam. But today is one of those days where your intuition is spot on, where you can connect. So start thinking about this. You might want to write this down just as a practice to do after we get off today. But maybe journal about, since the fall equinox, which was my birthday, by the way, you might want to write that down for next year in case you want to send presents. September 22nd to today. What's been going on with me? What's been going on? Here's the other funny thing. This Mars retrograde shadow has been going on since about then. So, or a little earlier than that, but really think about what's been going on. What have I been observing? What's been happening in my purview that I find frustrating, that I feel like I've been hopping around where I don't have focus? And start really kind of saying, okay, as I enter into this Mars retrograde in Gemini, I'm going to be in observer mode, or at least strive to be, because we might get poked a lot more, but strive to be so that I can observe what is it that I need to really look at and plan for. And then, like, when we're thinking about it from that perspective, but then also this is the midpoint in the fall winter cycle. So, what's been going on? How have I been navigating it? Do I like it? Do I not like it? Do I want to get rid of it? What's going on? So, I'm going to send it off and say, the stuff I don't want goes away. Again, it's another retrograde practice. And what action do I want to take around that from today to December? But remember, we're going to be moving very slowly because action is retrograde. And so it might even be, I want to just plan out my next year. Like and I'm going to do a video on this because I'm super pumped. I got this. Let's see. I'm just going to go like this. So I got this really cool new journal, or actually it's a planner that I'm going to share a video on later. But again, this is the time frame to kind of get that stuff in order. Okay, so what do we need to know? I'm going to pull a journey card for all of us. So what do we need to know collectively to navigate this time? Okay, so we're in that Mars retrograde in Gemini and all the other things going on. So what do we need to know before we get started and jumping in? So here's our card. Oh, I love that. For this you were born. So know that this time frame, whatever the challenge is, whatever the journey is you are currently in, you have your hero's journey, wherever you are in that, that's what these cards are, the hero's journey cards. Right now, foster your intention for incarnating in this dimension. What now? Now that's intense, isn't it? Right? Because we're all talking, y'all know this, y'all talking about timeline jumping and all this business and staying the course. I mean, I think I've gotten emails from some of you and Voxer messages from people like, I'm just striving to stay in the timeline that I want to be in, because there's a lot of stuff going on where our attention is being drawn away. So eyes on your own paper. Remember, you were born to do what you're doing. Whatever it is that is your dream in your soul, you were born to do. So really be intentional about hopping onto the timeline that will get you there. I know that's kind of out there, but really be intentional about stepping across the abyss in the hero's journey, where you go from the regular to the mystical. That's what this is about. Know that you're okay to do that. Isn't this card beautiful though too? She's kind of like dancing in the mystical. I love that. Okay, so that's for everyone. Okay, so dancing in the mystical is for everyone. So let's get started. So I'm gonna hop back over here. I'm gonna go to the comments and let's see. Boop boop. And I might play a little bit with the technology. Julia, let's see. Oh, cool. What a great idea. Okay, cool. Yep. So let's see. Liz was even saying earlier, she says, I've been feeling stuck today, see the need to make some changes, but can't get started. How do I get out of that funk? Okay, number one. So that's a good question. I think that's been a question by everyone. And I'm going to save your card. Or is that your question, Liz? I think that's your question. It looks like that's your question. Yep. Okay. So where am I? Oh, crap. I just lost everything. Oh, my goodness. Okay, there we are. So, but I don't get started. How do I get out of this funk? Okay, so from a coaching perspective, because I do coaching and I do the intuitiveness. So there's spiritual and there's practical. So let's start with practical first. Practical first, and also spiritual, I think, is to really kind of, instead of overwhelming yourself with all of the things, like there's so many things I want to do, or there's this big giant goal that I want to do, I would encourage you to kind of sit down and write the big goal at the top. And then maybe baby steps that would get you towards the goal. That's number one. From a spiritual energy movement, right now, since Mars is action and we are feeling called, and it's weird, retrograde will make you feel, like you said, stuck in a funk, not motivated. So if you do have a job that has deadlines, I'm going to encourage you to either get on focusmate.com, which is free. And this is for everyone, because I even do this when I need motivation. You can pay like $5 a month to have as many FocusMate sessions as you want, but it is kind of like a co-working thing where you're matched with people from all over the world. You don't really know them. You talk for 5 minutes. You do either a 20-minute or a 50-minute Pomodoro, and it gives you accountability to show up. So there's that if it's work related. As far as the funk, I'm going to encourage, and what Spirit is telling me to share with everyone is movement. Sitting down and staying in the house. And I know it's challenging, especially in the Northeast right now, because it is, we are turning from fall and we're in that heading into November, which is that kind of switch over. And today is the switch over in the seasons almost, from an astrological perspective. So I know it might be gray, it might be yucky, but still movement outside, move that energy through you. And then sometimes when we're outside and we're moving, whether it be dancing or singing or just walking and observing nature, that will give some creativity a stir and get some energy moved out that's stagnant, because you don't want to like have your body, which is, I mean, everyone thinks we're either spiritual or we're human, but we actually are, spiritual beings having the human experience. So when stuck energy happens, it creates stagnant energy and we feel funky and gross, and the only way to do it is to move it through. And you don't got to go and join like Orange Theory or anything like that. You might do yoga if that's your jam. You might get on YouTube, and there's a great and I love her because she's so like she'll teach you the dance move, but then be like, hey, whatever works, just do your thing, just move around. And it's called Body Groove. And I love her. So you might find some videos of her stuff, and they're easy because there's no expectation of being perfect. And I love that too. Or just walking if that's your jam. Whatever it is, move around, create something, paint something, be playful. I think that's the key this time to get you out of the funk. So let me pull a card and see what Spirit has to say. Maybe maybe I was on point. Who knows? Let's see. I feel like this is your card. Also, this is a good one. Chameleon spirit. Acting as if. So that's another way to get out of a funk, is to kind of, like I said earlier, jot down what it is you want. Like, what are the things you want to do? And you need to make some changes. Write down what those changes are that you want to make. Okay. And then act as if you're not in the funk. Get yourself started. Because I don't know about you, but if I am in a funk, one of the best ways for me to force myself out of it is to shift my energy, shift my environment, shift my thinking. So how do we do that? Like, I'm a firm believer in get up, get showered, get dressed, get cute, and get outside. Like, get out and do something. So if one of your changes is I need to move more, like I was saying, go out for a walk in nature. It's easy and it's free. If it's raining, go to a local community center, usually free. If it's something about changing your diet, maybe get on Pinterest and find some recipes that are more inclined for what you're doing. If it's I need to change how I do something, figure out what that change looks like for you, and then just take a step towards it. It might even be so small as like, you know what, this morning, and I know I'm going to ask you, you're going to want to sit down for this one. Maybe don't drink coffee, drink tea. If you're a tea drinker, maybe drink some cacao, because just changing something as your morning ritual, or even maybe before you have your coffee, have a glass of either tepid or warm tea level water with lemon in it, and then having whatever beverage you usually have in the morning. Getting out of the funk is that small, but it's if you want something different, we got to do something different kind of thing. Does that make sense for everybody and for Liz? I'm trying to get outside and walk. Okay, good. Then I was on point with that. I'm so glad I love when Spirit's like, yeah, you're on point. Thank you, Liz. I hope that was helpful. So just maybe, and what I also encourage you is when you're in that funk, set reminders in your phone, because setting reminders, utilize your technology, because right now Mars is going to invite you to interact with your technology in a way that doesn't feel good. So the way to not move in that direction is to, again, be conscious and intentional with your technology. So maybe stay off social and instead set timers, or get there's an app called Think Up that's wonderful. You can record your own affirmations in there, and like maybe set a reminder to go out and walk, set a reminder to go and do some affirmations, but just get more conscious and intentional in a way that feels good with your technology. All righty, let's see. Okay. Veronica. Hey sister, I loved your post this morning. Curious about love, what is in store. Oh, you sweet girl. I know you looking for the love partner. So let's ask, what do we need to know? What does Veronica need to know about her romantic life? And I want to point out, whenever somebody's like, when am I going to meet my partner? It's always more about you and how you perceive you, and you perceive love, and you decide how you give and receive love, than it is about who the person is that'll show up. And I'm a big proponent of that, because it keeps you in power more than the other way around. Ooh, this is interesting. And here's the other thing. Again, some of you guys, I know what's going on in your lives. So That's why I'll be like, that's interesting. So we have coyote spirit, trust in divine detours. I want to mention two things about coyote. Coyote can also show up as a trickster because they like to play. So also trust in divine detours is, you know what? Your love life may be, or the partner may come in a way that is incredibly unexpected. So they might be someone that you are not necessarily, like when you think about my type, like I like tall, dark, and handsome, and it shows up short and kind of, cartoon looking with blonde hair or something like that. But you're instantly falling in love and you're like, that's different. So I would say trust in divine detours, because if something happens that you're kind of like, a lot of times divine detours happen and we're like pissed because we wanted to go this way. But what happens is divine detours happen and they kind of knock you off your mind ego drafted plan, and we get upset. But then if you look at really what's happening, you're kind of like, oh, maybe that is for the best. So think of it like a Hallmark movie. And I know half of you are going to be like, oh, I roll big time. But some of them are kind of stupid and some of them are on point. But I will say this, they're always the same plot twist, right? Something happens where some woman who's like a high powered blah, 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 something happens where it sends her to some town in Vermont and she drinks hot cocoa and meets a local who's kind of ornery, and then they fall in love. But it's totally unexpected. She did not expect to be this way, and that's kind of how it happens. So I would say this, Veronica, because I know you, and it's like, this is what I want. This is how we're gonna do it, right? But the fact is that maybe that's not exactly how it's gonna come down. So it might be interesting to just be on the lookout. And again, you're doing this on the canvas of Mars in retrograde in Gemini, which means we're going to focus on whatever the fifth house is in, while also moving a lot slower. So within that container, when things happen that it's a divine detour, your initial reaction might be irritation, but then maybe take a breath and step back and go, maybe there's something else here. Okay. And this is all around the whole love thing. So anyway, and my nose is drippy. I'm sorry, because even though it might be cold in the Northeast, it's a little, cold here as well. Excuse me doing this. But also we have lovely allergy season. Again, it happens, 10 months out of the year. Okay. So I hope that was helpful. Let's see. Where are we at? Up. Okay. And I'm going to kind of pop up here. Oh, let's see. Julia, I'd just like to see what comes out for me. Oh, yes. And clock thing is crazy. I'm training Lego serious play at the moment. Oh, cool. And it's caused some fun. Yay. I love that. I love that. Okay. So let's see. Julia just wants to know, what is the spirit? What do the angels, what does spirit have to say for you? Hey, Julia. Okay, having a mediumship moment. Oh, that's a good name for a show, mediumship moments. Anyway, having one. Somebody is coming through for you, Julia. It's like a mom person. I don't know if your mom is on the other side or not, or if you have a mom-like person. Veil is thin. She's all excited that you can actually, that we're here. She wants to give you hugs. She loves you. There's some kind of crystal vase she's showing me. It's weird. Okay, I'm just going to say this. And I'm going to come all the way down so I can look and see if you're typing to me. So she's showing me a crystal vase. Usually flowers are like, hey, I love you. But this like has this crystal vase. It's like this kind of. And it's sitting on like a round table with like a round doily or something. And then the vase is on it. And she's just showing this to me. Like, I don't know what it means. I'm just sharing that with you. I don't know. Usually when people come through and they show you stuff, it's to let them know exactly who it is. I don't know if she gave you a vase, if she had a favorite vase, if somebody broke the vase. I don't know, but there's vase. And it's funny. Normally you would have normal, like regular live flowers in them, but there are dried flowers in this vase. So I don't know if that's significant. I've learned a long time ago not to hold stuff back and not to try to interpret. I just share what I see. But it's this round kind of wood table, like it looks like an antique table, like what you might put, I don't know, like a side table, you put a telephone on or something. And then you have the vase, which is this tall crystal vase and a round doily and dried flowers in it. And I don't know if that's in your house. I don't know if that was in her house, but the flowers and the vase have a meaning. So I'm hoping that that helps you. And now she's talking about a dog. I don't know if you have the dog, if there was a dog, if she loved dogs. She didn't love dogs. I don't know. There's a dog. Could be a stuffed dog. What else? And she loves you so much. Loves you so much. And I don't know if there was some sort of discord somewhere. She was worried that you were mad at her for something. She hopes that you're not. She didn't mean whatever it was. It's kind of weird. It's fuzzy but clear. I don't know how else to explain this. But anyway, she does like this. Okay. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna leave that with you, Julia, and see, and maybe email me or PM me when things go poppity pop pop pop. Okay, cool. So, hello, hello, and let's see. Oh, Tori's here. Bren's here. Oh, hey, Bren is disguised as her husband Brady. Hey, Bren, how are you? Okay, so Julia, I'm gonna pull you a card. Otherwise, now that Mom interrupted it, and she goes, "Oh, so sorry, so sorry." I don't know if your mom's an interesting character. It's like she wants to be in, but she's like being polite at the same time. It's funny. Okay. So, oh, this is your card. Okay. Ah, interesting. So just pulling a card for you. It says pig card. I love it. The little pig has wings. And oh, and your mom goes, "This was for you. This is for you." Hey, Desiree. Um, use your mind wisely. Use your mind wisely. So I don't know if okay, so here's a cool thing about Mercury retrograde in Gemini. We may, because of it being backwards, have like there's that scene in Pitch Perfect where she goes, "Make good choices." And that's kind of what's going on right now, because a lot of times if we are not in Mars retrograde, we think our choices through. We don't just act on things. We don't act from an emotional space. We kind of don't jump at things. So for you, Julia, and again, I want to be really clear about this. If this is resonating with you, it's for you too. But be kind of like, you might be in a space where you're kind of like, I don't know what choice to make. Kind of like what Liz was talking about earlier, feeling kind of stagnant and not feeling like forward motion. So sometimes from that space, we just want to push through and make a freaking choice. So just what I'm going to encourage you and what Spirit's encouraging you to do is to use your mind wisely. So what I see this as tapping into your inner wisdom that's in your bones. You know in your gut whether something is good for you or not, right for you or not. So instead of letting other people color the lens in which you make choices through, tap into your mind, your body, your soul, the wisdom in your bones, and make choices from that space, and do it in a slower form. Do not let people make you make choices in haste, okay? Do what you need to do so that you can feel good about whatever choices are coming for you, okay? That's our message for Julia. Julia got a little extra today. So let's see. Let me hop back up here. Boopity boop boop boo. Okay. There's no question. Hey, Elizabeth, I hope you are doing awesome. I do think of you often, even though I don't see you guys very much lately. But if you're ever down in Nashville, I want to grab tea. Holla! We can meet over in Donaldson and get tea. Get some cups of tea at the Aroma Cheese or something. That would be cool and fun. Anyways, so let's see. Just a question. So this is for Elizabeth. What does Elizabeth need to know? And I do know some things about going on with her. So if I say certain things, it's not like, oh, she's like, like television Hollywood street corner psychic. I always let people know when I'm saying things that's related to stuff I know about them and what is a spiritual hit. I don't try to fake anybody out. So let's see. You're getting 2. Ah, interesting. Yes. Okay. Your first one is dolphin. And dolphin spirit is representative of this and that are true. So a lot of times when we have black and white thinking, it's either this or it's that. It's either I do this or I don't do this. When in fact, there is gray area in everything. So you can have two things at once. Remember, those of you that are watching right now, you are okay. I just got an email from my mom. I lent her my witch hat over the weekend, and she wants to know when she can bring it back. And I'm thinking, oh, and by the way, that's why I don't have my witch hat because I left it and I lent it to my mom. Um, anyway, I apologize. So, the this and that are true is really understanding that you can be two things at the same time, or you can have two things at the same time that seemingly might look like they are opposing, but in actuality, they are coexisting for you. You just have to look at it from that perspective of that coexistence. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And and you know how, okay, this is how Spirit just told me to tell you. So, you know how there's two sides of every coin, right? But you can hold the coin. So, I think it's like holding both sides at the same time is how it needs to show up for you. So, understanding that, and I'm trying, and I may message you this after if you want to send me a note if I'm being too vague because I don't want to tell anybody secrets. But what I will say is this. You can have both the navigation through your current experience and the what you want to be after your experience at the same time. If that makes sense. And if it does not, send me a PM so that I remember to send you a note because that is important. What they're telling me is you need to know this. Like you have the one experience and the other experience. And it's okay to experience them both at the same time. In fact, it's necessary. So there's that. And then you have upside down B. So, and for some reason, I think the B, Spirit's telling me the B is a sign for you. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what I'm getting is that the bumblebee, the honeybee, is a sign for you for some reason. But it was upside down. So I want to say this upside down in my world does not mean, oh my God, chicken little time. It means either I didn't know that, I forgot that I knew that, or I knew that and I don't want it. Now, I think it's actually two things for you, Elizabeth. One, it's I forgot that I knew that. And the other thing was like, I don't want to, I need to focus on this one thing. And I think you can focus on the one thing, but having the duality and living in that gray space is really going to help you move through the stuff that you're going through right now. But knowing that sweet results await. That's what the honeybee means is this is coming. So that when you do have the mentality of this and that are true, I can do all the things, I can have both things, no matter what things look like right now, sweetness awaits. Okay. And I think that that is huge. So I'm going to write myself a note to make sure that I send you a message because of stuff. Let me do this really quick. PM, Elizabeth, Dolphin, B. Okay. So I hope that's helpful. Yes, totally get it. Thank you and love you. Yes. And I didn't want to like open up the door to all the things, but you get what I'm saying. So I love you so much. And again, if when you are free and you want to chill and go have tea, I'm so down with having tea with you. I miss you. And you are also on my heart most of the time. So just know I don't even keep a prayer list because I don't write that stuff down, but like I'm always like, okay, who's in my heart today? And there's certain people that show up on a consistent basis, and I send you love and light energy. So let's see. Katie, hey girlfriend. How you doing? Curious about a new love relationship I'm just starting. Any insight or any insight or sense? Oh, sense like what do I sense? Okay. I'm gonna clear some energy because that was pretty intense. We had spirit visiting. Oh, and by the way, since I'm like, none of these people have paid me to like share their stuff. I'm just sharing it because I love it. But this is my friend Alicia Mastrangelo's energy clearing spray. It is sage free. So if you are allergic to sage, you can get it from her liveitloveit.wellness.com. Fabulous stuff. And earth friendly because you can order refill bottles and just reuse your glass bottle. Anyway, so it's wonderful. It really it shifts energy better than smudging with sage burning. Just FYI. I digress. Katie, curious about new love. Okay. And you didn't tell me you got a new man just till now. Okay. Let's see. What do we have to say about this one? Ooh, he's fun. That's the sense I'm getting. Mm. And I'm also getting, because that was like a weird stuck in the throat, speak your truth with him. And I don't mean like dump all of your shit on there, but continue, because it's weird. There's some kind of something where I'm not speaking, either he's not speaking the whole truth or you're not speaking the whole truth, or we're not like, we're kind of tiptoeing around something. Or something in the throat. Do you have a sore throat? I don't know. There's something with the throat chakra. Let's see. Surprise. Yeah, you're real funny, Katie. Surprise. You can email, I sound like such an old mama where I'm like, you can email me once in a while. Oh, Helen. Hello, sister. Okay. Something with the throat. So if somebody else is having throat stuff, like where we're not speaking the truth, speaking power, truth to power, and all that kind of stuff, that's coming up and coming through. Anyway, so let's see. For Katie, what do we want to know? We want to know about her love or the new relationship. Okay. Mm-hmm. Something's going on though with the throat chakra. Speaking truth, speaking, when you have joy of creativity and speaking that, or joy over something, don't hold back that stuff. That's the other thing. Something's being held back. That's what it is. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is deep. That's what it was. And that's what's showing up. Speaking truth. Because your second chakra, sacral, down there, and your throat chakra are connected. One is creativity and pleasure, and one is the expression of all that. So it's the expression of joy. All this choking, is this a bad sign? It was trying to figure out what was not being spoken. And I feel like maybe you're not sharing how excited you are with the person about meeting the person. That could be it. So anyway, but we got Sandpiper for you, which is interesting because as soon as I started talking about expressing the joy, this is what it means. Be playful. Be more playful. And when it's upside down again, I didn't know. I forgot that I knew that, or I don't want to do that. So to me, this is kind of like maybe, Katie, we're being a little too this instead of this and whatever this is doing. So maybe instead of like checking the boxes and being highly guarded, I'm not saying totally take your blinders off and do all this, like let everything go. What I am saying is don't try to process the relationship like you're Mr. Spock. Instead, balance it between logic and making sure you hold your healthy boundaries, but also have some fun. Be a little more playful in this. Be playful with yourself, be playful in the relationship, be playful about it. Experiment in a way, like, and remember your word for the year was like, I think expansion or something. So think of it as an experiment and expansion in this. Now, I don't mean go experimental, like you see on like Bravo channel. But what I am saying is when I say experiment, don't think, okay, this is who I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. This is where I'm going to write things in stone. Be much more like in the moment, daily. What do I want to see happen with this experience with this person? Or it might even be from day to day, moment to moment. It might, don't think of it in terms of what's gonna look like at Christmas time even, but just kind of like what are we gonna do next week? What can we do that's fun? What can we do that's playful? And then just be experimental in the sense of I'm just going to be open to whatever happens. If that means this is a learning experience versus a permanent experience or a temporary experience that's elongated, be okay with all of that. Is that cool? That's what I'm getting. Be playful. Okay. Hey, Sharon. How are you? Welcome. Hey, Desiree. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. Just kind of scroll up to undo this. Carol, my dearest, dearest Carol. I'm so stuck right now. I have Gemini rising. Oh, girl. Usually when they're in one of your big three, it's going to be interesting. Here's, again, just a quick reminder to everyone, whether you've joined late or not. If you're looking at the Mars retrograde, one of the weather patterns would be to figure out what house your Gemini is in, and then understand that the focus, it'll help you focus this next couple of months because it's going to hang around a while. It's going to be till I think it goes direct in like January, but not like fully out of shadow until the end of March. So it's going to be hanging around a while. So we need to learn to navigate this. This is not like Mercury retrograde where you kind of go 3 weeks, shoo, it's going to be hanging around. So there's a lot of weather patterns to navigate. So I would say look at Google. Once you figure out what house your Gemini is, Google what that kind of represents, and then know that will probably be where you are focused for the next couple of weeks and around feeling like you might be stagnated in that that focus. But the reason that you're stagnated is so that you don't take action, but you more understand what you're doing there. And it gives you some planning. Because remember, retrograde is introspection. So I'm stuck right now. But I'm assuming you want me to pull the card. Pardon me. So that's all I have from you. So I'm gonna pull a card for you, Carol. Doo-doo. Carol, sweet Carol, there she is. Okay. Oh, now is a lucky time. No, so see your little bunny. Does bunny have wings? No, bunny is just covered in leaves. So bunny is covered in leaves. And I love the bunny because it says bunny is lucky time because bunnies are lucky, right? But also bunnies are fertile with creation, as we all know. So I'm wondering if I know it feels like you're stuck, but this is a time over the next couple of months, and especially after we get out of this kind of like this week and next week might feel really stuck because Mars is kind of hanging out in the same space like it's like doing a Titanic turn where you can't turn a big ship like on a dime. My Beetle has a 0 turn radius, but like a Lincoln, not so much. So think of it as the turn radius of a Lincoln is Mars. So because it doesn't have a good turn radius, it's going to take a minute for it to turn around and go retrograde. So we're going to feel really stuck 2 weeks. Okay. So in that 2 weeks, just be okay to be in the frustration and kind of be in awareness about what you're witnessing, and ask the universe and ask yourself, your inner self, because you are the universe, you're an extension of universe. What is it that this is supposed to show me? What opportunities for creativity and luck and prosperity do I want to write down and explore? We don't have to have actionable things right now, okay? Because again, moving too fast and trying to do all the things is going to end up in frustration, and you might bang your head against the wall instead of leaning against the wall for support. So just kind of observe, but know that the more and think of it this way also, I hate to be gross, but it's a good example, and Spirit's telling me to tell it, so tell it. So when you eat too much cheese, I think we all know what happens. Things get bound up, right? And you get all upset because you're cranky and it doesn't feel good. But then you drink more water, you eat a little fiber, and everything starts moving again, and it's cool. But the more you resist, the more it persists. So I'm going to invite you guys, Carol especially, but everybody else, to let it go. And then say to yourself, instead of resisting, say, okay, if this is supposed to be my bunny time, send me opportunities that will feel good, that will give me something to think about, not action maybe, but just kind of ponder, is this what's good for me? Okay. I think there we go. Yay. Let's see. Boopity boop, boop, boop. Coming back up because the thing jumps around. Rose, my dear, I'm curious about my love life. Also, Michelle shares, there's definitely been an interesting positive shift in my energy lately. Thank you. I love you. You're an inspiration and you've helped me so grow. Oh, I love you too, Rose. I'm so, so glad that there's a shift. Okay, curious about love life. So again, like from the same perspective as Veronica asking about the same thing and Katie asking about the same thing. Um, I want to really kind of focus on that perspective of we attract what we are. So this is more about you and how your energy's showing up and what needs to maybe be helpful. Ooh, and this again is upside down. A lot of upside down cards. I think that is again showing that the clutteriness of the mind is showing up. And this is Canary Spirit. Sing your own song. So the way to what I'm getting for you, Rose, is you just need to yet again be more you, just even more you. You might think to yourself, but Michelle, I've been stepping into my meanness for so long, I thought I was me already. There's always more us to unfold because the more we discover in the world, the more we uncover about ourselves. So just don't be afraid to be exactly who you are, your authentic self, to assert those healthy boundaries because I think people don't understand that, yes, asserting boundaries with with people that are annoying is easy. Asserting boundaries with loved ones can be challenging, especially if they're romantic loved ones. But in fact, you strengthen your relationship when you do the assertive boundary enforcement because you're exploring what is okay with me and what is not. And then when I inform the other person of my boundary or I assert my boundary and just say no, no, thank you, or I'll think about it, or whatever is good for me, it tells the other person who you are, who your authentic self is. Boundaries are helpful in the relationship. So, singing your own song not only means be more you, just be you. Know, and I think all of us here know in our bodies when something feels good or bad. And then asserting, I want to do this or that regarding those feelings, those guidance systems. So, really kind of taking stock in where do I want my boundaries? What do I want my boundaries to do? And how do I want to assert them with the folks that I love and the folks that I am wanting to have relationship with so that they know, so I know who I am, and then they know who I am, and then they know how to treat me because I'm telling them. So that kind of thing. Does that make I hope that makes sense. Let's see. So I hope that was helpful, Rose. And I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're doing so well. Yay! Okay. Hi, Amy Straight. Will blocks break free? I love you. Can you repeat that? And I apologize. I have no idea what you're asking me to repeat, Mary Jo. So maybe this will be in replay after, so you can watch it again. Let's see. Will blocks break free? So for Mary Jo, I'm assuming this is your question. I'm going to really quickly fly through and see. Ba, ba, ba. Love you too, Rose. Mary Jo. Okay. Will blocks break free? Well, I can tell you they will. But again, since this is all, we create our own experience, it's however long we want to hold on to those blocks. I know that's terrible, but it is what it is. And do I know this to be true? Yes. Do I just miraculously move my own blocks all the time? No. Because I too am human and I need to navigate. Some are easy and some are challenging. But we need to process them so that we can move them through. Hence why I do coaching, and hence why I have a coach, because sometimes blocks are too big for us to we might see them and we might try and think our way, but moving the energetic, emotional body through a block and releasing things sometimes is something we can't do on our own. And this is for everyone. So having someone else to speak through that to, or to create ideas and goals and intentions, and then make commitments to self and have somebody on your side in your corner cheering you through is how we move those blocks through. So just from a perspective of practicality, because spiritual, practical, no BS, because I'm not BSing you. I'm being practical. And I always say, find a person who relates to you on a spiritual level that is going to help you and be there and not be like this, but be like this with you when it comes to moving blocks. But in general, we're going to pull a card and say, well, blocks break free. So I think the question better suited to this would be, what does Spirit want Mary Jo and anybody else this resonates with to know that will support them in breaking free. Oh, that's funny. Of blocks. Oh, and again, this comes up. Upside down piggy pig, use your mind wisely. So again, back to the wisdom in the bones thing. And this is upside down for you, Mary Jo, because it's like you don't think you have your wisdom in your bones. And you do. You have a lot of wisdom and a lot of love and a lot of self-understanding that is almost like you forgot you had there. That's why it's upside down. You have to sit down and remember who you really are. The powerful extension of source energy, of God energy that you are, that extension of absolute love. Okay? And understand that those blocks are there because you think that you're not. And I want you to understand something. This is why you've been on my heart. Holy F word. Okay. So the fact is that you forgot how effing awesome you are. Stop that. Because you're gorgeous and we love you and everything is awesome and you are beautiful and wonderful and you know what you have to do. You know in your heart, you know in your bones, you have the wisdom that will get you through this. Stop forgetting who you are. Tap into who you really are, your authentic you. That which is extension of source energy, that beautiful, beautiful version of Mary Jo that will show up. And we don't have to be resentful or angry, which I think is the Mars thing is going to be a little bit challenging, but really kind of take a breath, step back and look at the situation and be like, how would my higher self handle this? Because it's not, the fear-based bullshit is not working. That's where the block is. How would my higher self handle this? Would she give a shit about it? Would she navigate it differently? Would she, when I think about it from a perspective of love, what would she do? And sometimes that means, again, back to the asserting boundaries thing, saying what I want and stop saying yes when you mean no. Like really saying yes to you instead of yes to everything else that doesn't fit. Okay. That's what I'm getting. And that's when, use your mind wisely, the wisdom in your bones. And yes, you can eat bacon. It's okay. Sorry. I love you so much. Let's see, we're going to take that down. Amy. And if you have not seen, if you're friends with Amy Strait, you have not seen her Facebook page yet. She has this gorgeous princess outfit on that she wore to work today, and she looks fabulous. And I think she should get a dress like that in every color and wear it to work every single day. And you should get a tiara, just because everybody needs one. So let's see. Just a card. Okay, so what does Amy need to know? Use this one. You need to slow your roll, sister. Bring a gentle touch. Okay. Oh, Spirit is just going, and this, and this, and this. So, Amy, and this again is for everybody that it resonates with. Okay. First of all, slow down. And they need to slow down too, because they're like, Also, in this time, anger may not just be directed externally at other people. We may, if we are someone that struggles with perfectionism and worthiness, that anger, that Mars retrograde kind of, that popping off might happen with self, because if we're moving too quickly and we get clumsy and we knock over something in the kitchen, it breaks, goes everywhere, whatever, instead of just cleaning up and going, it'll be like this itty bitty shitty committee through it, like a freaking rave party instead. So really be on your guard about what you're saying to yourself. Bring a gentle touch to self. Bring a gentle touch into the heart space. Do not let your perfectionist, your itty bitty shitty committee run away with you. Okay? That's where I feel like this needs to happen. Really be okay with wherever you are, however you're showing up, all of that kind of stuff. Because I feel like, we all have good days and we all have bad days. But right now, between now and the end of March, there might be more experiences where you have a choice to decide to speak love over self internally, or like to whip yourself with a wet noodle. And so I'm going to encourage you to be in huge amounts of awareness about how you're speaking to yourself. And if you hear yourself saying negative things, Flip that around in an affirmation for yourself so that you realize I'm going to release this and I'm going to receive this, the stuff that we want. Okay. So that's for you, Amy. Love you, love you, love you. I'm just going to try and blow through these. Okay. Oh, you did some goal setting today. That's cool. Trying to get outside and walk. I know. Just do it. Yes, just do it, Liz. Just do it. Shaniqua. Hey, Shaniqua. Hello. Okay, cool. And welcome. I don't think I've ever seen you before, Shaniqua. So if you're new here, I do readings. Not like this. I do readings for the collective, usually on Mondays, but it'll be tomorrow because we're doing this at our 11 o'clock time slot. But for energy reports for the week. So just subscribe and like if that's your jam. And we do other things here, manifesting all the fun things. So Shaniqua, this card is for you. I'm going to pull it, tap into you. Oop, there we go. Ooh, okay. First of all, you all know I do not like this card because of the spider, but I do feel that it does have a huge amount of message. So Shaniqua, messenger. Spiders are the messenger. They have messages to bring. Okay. So whenever you see one in person, you can still send it to heaven and be like, thank you for your message. Go to heaven, evolve. Darren says evolve so that they reincarnate to the higher level. But anyways, make your dreams real. So this is a reminder that you weave your own dreams. You co-create your own experience, especially in this time. Like I was saying to Amy, really be conscious for the next 5 months about what your thinking is, because what thinks becomes. What we think comes from an emotion somewhere, from a vibration somewhere, because you might be saying, I want to have more money, but your emotion or your experience might be, I don't, either rich people are assholes, or I never can keep a hold of money, or like there's some weird stuck energy around whatever it is you're wanting that needs to move. And you need to be reminded that you co-create the thing. So understand that being in awareness of whenever you start having those thoughts, like usually when we get excited. So, I think the Powerball is like $1 billion, right? And and you can be like, I'm going to buy this and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to pay off debt, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden it might be, oh, what if that crazy aunt that always wants money from everybody comes knocking at my door? Or what if, what am I going to do? I don't know any accountants. How am I going to handle this? Like if we start trying to, think about the how instead of the what and the why, stay focused on your what and why. Don't think about the how, when, or where. And that's how we're going to weave this. And really, when you start like leaking into that how, when, and where stuff, remember you create your experience. So if you get icky about whatever's going on and you have a downward spiral, that will be more present. Oop, and I'm sorry, I have Amy's thing still up on here. So that'll be more present for you. So to make sure that you stay the course, mind what goes into your mind. Mind what you focus on. Energy flows where focus goes. Start writing 5 affirmations a day around the stuff that you want. You don't have to write it 55 times till your hand falls off. I think that's stupid. But if you want to, you can start really focusing on what you want to have happen. Change and say, today I decide that I declare, command, demand, intend, and decide that I am going to receive XYZ. And that's it. Okay. Hope that's helpful. Let's see. Yes, allergy season sucks. Tori, how are you? Let's see. I'm just gonna do. Let's see. So many folks here. I love you guys. Hey, oh my God, Jennifer, another UKer. Hey, how are you? Hey, Ashley. Let's see, Tori. Let's see. Tori, do you want a card? Or are you just kind of hanging out? Because you're next on the list. Let's see. So, let's see. Bren would love messages. So, okay, Bren's next on the list. Bren. Oh, and Bren, you've been on my mind too. It's like a handful of people have been on my mind. Let's see. Yes, please. Okay, cool. So I'm going to do Bren because I just said that, and then I will do Tori. So we'll do Bren. What does Spirit want Bren to know? Ooh, Eagle. Spirit has your back. Stop worrying about shit, Bren. That's gonna, remember. I mean, I know that you and I are both like, in that super woo category kind of thing. But sometimes the the earthly stuff, um, it's almost like you get knocked out of the sky. And I don't want you to do that anymore. You know, for your good, not, for mine, but because I know that that's something that's important. But understanding that, eagle spirit has your back. And also, eagle shows up to say, spirit has that bird's eye view of everything versus what you personally are experiencing in that one moment. Okay. So know that everything's working out for your highest good. I know sometimes it can seem otherwise, but know that that's not the case. Know that everything's working out for your highest, and just repeat yourself, everything is working out for my highest good, and all is well. All is well. So I hope that's helpful. And if you need me, I'm here. You can send me a little note. And I hope all is well with you, and love to London Marie and to Brady and all the people. Love you guys so much. I know I'm going over. I'm breaking my own rule, but that's it. Let's see. Desiree, because everybody's here. I haven't seen anybody in so long. I would love to know if you have any message about work, job, career decisions, or if things will stabilize soon after a couple years of job changes. Oh, Desiree. So here's the deal with you, Desiree. It's weird because I'm going to pull a card. They told me that we'll pull a card, but you have to understand that it is in the container of you really getting clear on what you want, and not just by like saying, oh, I want to make $1 million a month kind of a thing, but much more like, what do I want? And not what I want to do when I grow up, but more like, how do I want to show up? I think that's really what it is. How do I want to show up in the world to others? That's more what it is. And it doesn't have anything to do like, because you have a podcast. If people don't know, she has a podcast. Oh, and sorry, Tori, I did not forget you. Everybody has podcasts. But Desiree has a podcast. She sells coffee mugs that say fuck on them, which are awesome. Everything is called Slightly Unfiltered. So if you have not seen her stuff, go see it. But I feel like whatever feels like it is the most authentic path for you, stop letting fear guide you away. That's the biggest message as far as like, like I said earlier, I forget, I think it was Mary Jo who was asking about blocks. When do they go away? They go away when we step towards the true authenticity that we want without that fear kind of dragging behind us like a ball and chain kind of thing. So not to say quit your job and go like join the circus and hope for the best, but much more like once you figure out what your money to fund your life is, remember to allocate a certain percentage of that to fund the dream and progress the dream and to do the dream, whether it be time, money, or energy, because those are the three commodities we have is time, money, and energy. And sometimes we have more than another. But really, with that in mind, if your time is short because you're working a day job, really be concise, conscious, and intentional with that time. So that you do progress the thing that you want most, whether it's the podcast, whether it's the mugs, whether the mugs support the podcast or the coffee or the things. So understand that the way to get that going is to really focus with conscious intention the energy, because energy flows where focus goes. Where am I focusing my energy? And is it on the authentic self? So let's pull a card to say, so the question for you might be, Desiree, is what do you need to know to get more in tune with authentic self? This and that are true. Again, and it's upside down because it's like, it's either I'm this or I'm that. It's like, I don't know. And I think this is I didn't know that I could do that. That's the feeling I get. It's either I'm working a day job or I'm doing this. And it's also this belief system. If I do what I want, I don't make any money. And that needs to go. And to understand that you can both do something you love and make money at it as well. That's equivalent to having a corporate day job or some sort of day job. So understanding, and I get the feeling that this is like a dad thing with you, that it was like, you're just supposed to have a job. You don't have to like it. You're just supposed to work so you make money. So I don't know, because like they're showing me like that's my dad's thing, and they were showing me that as connected to this. So it's almost like the thought pattern is work's not supposed to be fun and doing something you love is frivolous. So, these never the two shall meet, when the fact is that's bullshit. And the fact is that you can, once you get the energy out of the way of that, that's when things will start happening. So, knowing you can both do something you love and make money from it, that is a sustainable living, that's when you will get where you need to go. So, I hope that was helpful. So Tori's next because I promised. Let's see. Tori. Mm. Tori, my darling. Another podcast, The Wandering Ma. And she's amazing. I don't have kids, so I don't like hang. And she has a group and everything. And this is your card sticking out. But I want to promote it, even though I have no children. So like, I would be like the wandering Firma, but she speaks to parents who have children with ADD and ADHD, and how um, you can still, again, it's that this or that or true business. You can still be a great mom, even if you're not perfect and you're not showing up like some stupid Instagram bullshit. This is where you can go to have a safe space to hang out with other moms that are just as lovely and imperfect in their and lovely in their imperfectness as you, with the guy like Tori, who is fucking amazing. I love her. I love you, Tori. You're amazing. Anyways, so you also get spider spirit. Remembering that you weave. And can I just say, first of all, Tori is showing up like a badass and promoting her stuff. And so her visibility is high vibe. And I love it. And it's showing up in a way that I've known Tori for years. And she is like coming out the gate, coming in hot. So keep that up. And I want you to remember, not everything is super practical. We have to engage our ritual, because you're a woo. I know that. That's not Spirit telling me. I know Tori's woo woo. She's more witchy woo. And so you need to start engaging in your witchy woo-ness and connect it to your business. That's the feeling that I'm getting. Not just practice being like, a practicing solitary. You need to start doing ritual around the business, like client attraction spell, like next level, what do I do? Attracting opportunity kind of stuff. Like, so remember, what you think about, what you decide comes to be. This is upside down, not because nothing's coming, but because you forget that there's like a compartmentalization where it's like, I'm this over here, but during the day I'm this. You know what I mean? So I feel like what needs to happen is that you have to start engaging with your witchy side in connection with the business. Not so much, I mean, you can put it in the business if you want, but what I'm saying is more about like I said, more engaging in it from business practice standpoint. As part of, yeah, we got to show up and do the Instagram thing and do all that stuff that we normally do to be visible, like showing up here on YouTube. But there's also like, I set an intention that I would have a lot of folks, and then Spirit said, you should really do this not just on YouTube, you should do it on Facebook too. So that's, I at the very last minute decided to stream into Facebook as well. So because of that, now I think I had a maximum of like 15 people we like up on here, which is kind of cool. So, and I know we're kind of waning now because it's after 12:30 and I actually have to go because I promised Darren that I would meet him for some stuff. And the thing is that setting that intention behind the scenes, is helpful in where we're focusing our energy in our business. So I hope that's helpful. That's for Tori. Let's see. And Ashley, I'm going to pull you a card offline because we have other stuff going on. And I needed to talk to you anyway. Falling apart to fall together. That's so beautiful. I love him. When Bren comes up, and it says Brady, that's her husband, but it's Bren. Yes, falling apart to fall together. That is so what like we're kind of like off of that Saturn retrograde that just happened. And like the Mars thing is also kind of again from an action perspective. Like where do we need to stop taking action so that we feel better? I mean, it's kind of interesting. Where do we need to rest so that we can be energized later? You know what I mean? And oh, happy Halloween, Mary Jo. Thank you. Thank you. Love you too. Yes, I love asking myself, how do I want to show up? Yes, Desiree, keep asking yourself, how do I want to? And this is for everyone. Keep asking self, how do I want to show up? Because right now is that time, especially today. How do I want to show up? How do I want to show up? And I feel like it's weird. Like we're still kind of navigating the rest of 2023, but I just feel this weird energy of cocooning and um not so much where you'd like go into the cave like the hermit, but much more like you still hanging out with your friends, getting other perspectives and stuff, but also um starting to think about what do I want my 2023 to look like? Because we finally feel like we're coming out of this the ick. So yeah. Thank you, Rose. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love y'all. Um, let's see. I think, yep. And I am over by like 10 minutes. So I am going to cut this short so that I can go. I love you so much. Again, first come, first serve. So I'm sorry if I didn't get your question, y'all, but I love you so much. I love you guys for coming and joining me today. Remember, this is like, and I cannot believe this is the 5th annual year. I am so excited that you guys are here. Thank you so much for being here and supporting me. Thank you. I love doing this for you guys. FYI, the New Year's reading for the collective for 2023 will be on November 11th at 11:30 right here on the YouTube and in Facebook too. And right now, if you are a VIP person, Katie, that's you. Rose, that's you. I'm trying to look at who's on here. Um, Liz, I think, is on that list. Check your email because you have pre-sale accessibility to the calendar, which means there's only like 4 Saturdays available. So if you want to snag any of those, there's only a handful of VIPs, and you guys get first pick a date and time for private 2023 readings. So, and then it opens up to everybody after the class. So on the 12th of November. But check your email. If you do not have your email from me, let me know. And you've either been a private client as a coaching client in the last year, or you got your 2022 reading last year with me. Then make sure that you check your email. And there should be a link in there regarding booking your session so that you can get the day and time you want. Other than that, have a wonderful, happy Halloween and enjoy your Samhain if that is your practice. Be true to self. The stand and the authenticity thing is the biggest thing, I feel like, for move slow. For this Mars retrograde in Gemini, check your chart, figure out what house it is. Know that's your focus for the next 5 months. Know that pushing too much or banging your head against the wall or getting frustrated at the blocks, instead of just allowing and saying, what do I really need to know here? And either pulling an oracle card for yourself, booking a reading if you want to, all that kind of stuff. Whatever works best for you, journaling it out. That's where you're going to find the wisdom within yourself. Okay. So slow down physically and mentally. Really get clear on what your focus is for this time. Remember, action is backwards. So that means instead of fast moving forward, you might feel like you're moving through sludge. So just allow and say to yourself, this is giving me permission to think about one thing at a time. Because remember, priorities is not really the engagement. That was what a Coach Jenny thing, those of you who are Coach Jenny people, she always would say, there's no such thing as priorities. It was never meant to be a plural thing. It was actually meant to be a singular, because you cannot have multiple priorities. Because if the priority is the number one biggest thing, you can't have multiple number one big things. So work on one priority, then the next priority, then the next one. And then also Gemini's voice. As you can tell, I'm getting a little dry. Yeah. So speak your truth, stand in your authenticity, know that you're okay. All right. That's it for this time. There's links in the blurb if you need to make a schedule a session. Other than that, I will see you tomorrow at, I think, 11 or 11:30. I can't remember what time, but just kind of make sure you like and subscribe and click the bell if that is what something you want. Tomorrow we're going to do, normally what we do on Monday is the weekly energy report. So we're going to do that tomorrow at this time because I'm doing this at this time today. And then in the email for the week, the newsletter, if you're not a member of that, make sure you sign up for that at the website, because there'll be a much more intense or in-depth thing about Mars retrograde in Gemini, and some coachy 3-step things for you to help navigate. Anyways, I think that's it. I love you all so much. Thank you for coming. Happy Halloween. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And I know that even if you did not get a card pulled today, know that the message also, if anything resonated with you, that's for you. Okay? I love you so much. Have a good week. I'll see you tomorrow if you come in to hang out. Okay. Bye.